Wagwan viewers and subscribers, welcome to SwitchXclusive. Here are the 10 most disturbing Pokemon of all time, written by John Partridge. These are the creepy Pokédex entries that prove this game is definitely not just for kids. Despite what the Pokemon Company and Nintendo might have you believe, not all of those pesky pocket monsters are cute and cuddly critters you want to perch on your shoulder. In fact, many of them are downright murderous, and in no scenario ever should a 10-year-old child, as Hash in the cartoon, be left in charge of them. From a Pokemon that snatches up children to some that used to be actual humans, we have done the hard work and scanned the Pokédex through the generations to find out which ones have a creepy factor that's off the scale and which disturbing man you might want to leave out of your squad for moral reasons. Watch out for those creatures and think twice next time you release one from your Pokeballs into the wild. These are the Pokemon that will no doubt terrify trainers across the world. Gengar. Gengar is no doubt a familiar face to longtime Pokefans, with the ghost-type mon's huge monstrous visage being one of the first you see in the title screen in red and blue. But what you might not realize is that Gengar actually used to be a human being. In the Pokédex entry for Pokemon Moon it says, it apparently wishes for a traveling companion. Since it was once human itself, it tries to create one by taking the lives of other humans. While at first glance that might seem sweet, as all Gengar wants is a bit of company, break it down and it's ethically horrifying. It used to be a human. It tries to take lives of other humans. Now keep it in bondage inside a tiny plastic ball for most of the day and force it to compete in animal baiting. So much for manumission. In Kanto, human chattels are still very much a thing, it seems. Cadabra, Generation 1. Much like Gengar, Cadabra has been around since the very first Pokemon games, and the psychic Pokemon is easily recognizable thanks to its fondness of spoons. But where did it get its attachment to culture? The Pokédex entry for Pokemon Sun might clue us into that, as it presents a dark theory that there's more to Cadabra than meets the eye. A theory exists that this Pokemon was a young boy who couldn't control his psychic powers and ended up transformed into this Pokemon. That's quite terrifying if so. That means every single Cadabra you come across used to be a human being. Both Emerald and Fire Red have similar entries in their respective Pokédex, which read, it rumored that a boy with psychic abilities suddenly transformed into Cadabra while he was assisting research in extrasensory powers. Along with Gengar and some other Pokemon, a whole bunch of men could have been humans before settling into their current forms, making us re-evaluate the franchise as a whole. Where are social services in all of this? Undoom, Generation 2. Pokemon Gold and Silver ushered in a second generation of Pokemon with 100 new critters and new regions to explore, and a few of these new mon will keep you up at night. Undoom, the evolved form of the dark fire type pup Undor, sounds like it'll be a terrifying Pokemon to keep around, as its elemental power is going to Earth for eternity. Gold gives us this frightening entry. If you are burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away. We're not sure about how you feel, but we'd rather not have a burn that hurts for the rest of our lives. Next, Spoink, Generation 3. If you thought 251 Pokemon was enough, Generation 3's Ruby and Sapphire spoiled you with even more critters to stuff into balls. Some of them suffer a truly tragic plight. Spike, a grey pig-like Pokemon with a pink jewel in its head, looks like quite an ordinary Pokemon, one you'd happily have for company on your adventure, but its dex entry from Ruby tells a different story. Spike bounces around on its tail. The shock of its bouncing makes its heart pump. As a result, this Pokemon cannot afford to stop bouncing. If it stops, its heart will stop. Extend the logic of that and it stands to reason that making a sprung faint in battle is effectively murdering it. We hope Nurse Joy as a cure for death. Jiflun, Generation 4. Let's not sugarcoat this one. Jiflun, the innocent looking balloon shaped Pokemon with what looks like ice cream on its head, steals children. But it's okay, it doesn't abduct every child it come across. This Pokemon has standards. Sun tells us stories go that it grabs the hands of small children and drags them away to the afterlife. It dislikes every children. Death awaits you if you are a child of average weight. In other words, which judging by practically all of the characters in the Pokemon TV show, suggests that every trainer you have ever played as has eventually been ferried across the Styx by an inflatable. Yamask Generation 5. What is it with ghost types? And more importantly, why do Professor Oak and his community of academics continue to classify these human spirits as Pokemon? Yamask, introduced in Pokemon Black and White, is a shadowy man that carries a mask around with it, which seems as reasonable as being able to breathe fire or shoot lightning from your cheeks. It's when you read its Pokédex entry from Black that things take a turn. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. What has happened to these dead humans to cause them to become Yamask instead of Gengars? Were they all flayed? Just how many human beings died this way for Yamask to become a recognized species of Pokemon? Scratch that, we don't want to know. Generation 6 Phantom. Phantom looks like a pretty whimsical Pokemon, a cute looking ghostly tree stump that was introduced in X and Y. But after you have read its Pokédex entry, you might look at it in a different light. Sun's Pokédex entry tells us these Pokemon are stumps possessed by the spirits of children who died in the forest. Generation 7 Mimikyu. One of the most infamous new pocket monsters is Mimikyu, a ghost type that badly mimics the appearance of Pikachu in a bid to make friends. But it's the Pokédex entry that really breaks our hearts. Its actual appearance is unknown. A scholar who saw what was under its rug was overwhelmed by terror and died from the shock. Kamala. For whatever reason, Pokemon Sun and Moon seem to have the most depressing Pokédex entries to date, and Kamala is no exception. It's simply never awake. Sun tells us it's been born asleep and it dies asleep. All its movements are apparently no more than the results of it tossing and turning in its dreams. How utterly unbreaking. According to Pokemon lore, no one has ever seen a Kamala awake, making it one of the saddest monsters we have heard about. It also makes you wonder whether you should really force a Pokemon that doesn't really know what's going on into the battle. But hey, maybe Kamala's never-ending dream is a better place than the world of Pokemon and its many reanimated humans being enslaved and forced to fight for the entertainment of those lucky enough to still be alive. Godzlord. As one of the new mysterious Ultra Beasts introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, there's not a lot known about Godzlord and what makes it tick. All we know so far is that, like its name suggests, it likes to chow down. Moon tells us a dangerous ultra beast. It appears to be eating constantly, but for some reason its droppings have never been found. Clearly, the writers were getting a bit bored of offering humans by this point and decided to mix things up with what is clearly the most improbable Pokemon of all time. The entry in Sun tells us that Godzlord is capable of eating mountains and buildings whole, which we can just about grasp, but weirdly, Godzlord never excretes. You might think that something that can chop through skyscrapers might run out of space in its stomach at some point, but apparently not. And that's it, that's the 10 most disturbing Pokemon of all time. Let me know what you think about these Pokemon in the comment section below. Were you surprised? Were you shocked about any of these Pokemon? Just shoot a comment and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Bless.